Today is the 40th anniversary of the Ghostbusters movie, so to celebrate, I thought it would be nice to look back on 3 LEGO Dimension packs that released almost 10 years ago. I'll start by talking about the level pack. So the level pack comes with Peter Venkman, an Ecto 1 build, and a Ghost Trap build. The Venkman minifigure is very similar to the one that appeared in the Ecto 1 Ideas set. The only major difference is that the Dimensions one includes a more accurate hairpiece. I love this minifigure, it looks just like Venkman. I also love that he comes with a buildable proton pack on his back. The proton pack build is quite accurate in size and how it looks overall. In the game, after you complete the level, he comes with, you can change the Ghostbuster you play as. So you can play as Ray Stantz, Egon Spengler, and Ernie Hudson, also known as Winston Zedmore. The vehicle you get with this pack is the Ecto 1. You can rebuild it into the Ecto 1 Blaster and the Ecto 1 Diver. The Ecto 1 is really good for its size. It definitely captures the iconic look of the Ecto 1. I really like this build, and it's probably my favourite from the Ghostbuster Dimension packs. The only one that comes close is the Pterodog, which I will talk about later. One of the things you can rebuild the Ecto 1 into is the Ecto 1 Blaster. This is not based off of something we see in the films, but it does a good job at looking a bit like a cross between the Ecto 1 and a tank. There's not really anything else I can say about this build, although it does look quite decent for its size. The other thing you can rebuild the Ecto 1 into is the Ecto 1 Water Diver. There's not really much I can say about this one either, but it is a decent looking build, and I always like an underwater vehicle in LEGO Dimensions. The gadget you get in this pack is the Ghost Trap. You can rebuild the Ghost Trap into the Ghost Stun and Trap and the Proton Zapper. The Ghost Trap definitely had to be included here. I love that you have to use it to actually catch ghosts when using Peter Venkman. The build itself may not be very interesting, but it makes up for that with playability in the game. I also appreciate that they manage to capture the Ghost Trap look well, and it doesn't really look that bad. One of the builds you can build the Ghost Trap into is the Ghost Stun and Trap. I don't really like this build, but I do understand that they had to make something using the same pieces as the Ghost Trap. It does have a cool ability in the game though. If you take it off the gamepad, it will actually suck in any NPCs just before it disappears. A bit like how the TV screen from The Simpsons level pack explodes when you take it off. The other thing you can rebuild the Ghost Trap into is the Proton Zapper. In my opinion, this is my favourite of the 3 builds. You can use it to suspend ghosts like a proton pack, however, it cannot trap them, so it's pretty useless really. But the build looks really nice, and I enjoy the laser cannon aspect to it. The Ghostbusters level is really good. I enjoyed playing through it. There's a lot of references to the actual films, and it covers the main aspects of the original movie, while also giving it some LEGO humour. It definitely isn't my favourite level though. I would have to say the Sonic level is definitely my favourite within LEGO Dimensions. Now I'll move on to the Slimer Fun Pack. This one comes with Slimer and the Slime's Shooter. Slimer is probably my favourite playable character in LEGO Dimensions. He's one ugly spud. I love that they made a new mold for him. This Slimer is slightly different to the one that appears in the Ghostbusters Firehouse set. The only difference is the shade of transparent green they used for him. I think this one is slightly darker than the one in the Ghostbusters Firehouse. I love this minifigure, and I think it is a perfect inclusion in LEGO Dimensions. In my opinion, Slimer's definitely one of the most useful Dimension characters, as he has a variety of different abilities. The build Slimer comes with is the Slime Shooter. You can rebuild this into the Slime Exploder and the Slime Streamer. The Slime Shooter looks like a decent cannon build. It also fits with Slimer. I'm not really sure what else they could have included with Slimer other than this. Although I would have liked to have seen a hot dog cart, I think that would have been pretty funny. I love the use of the barrel to make it look more of a sturdy cannon as well. It makes it look more complete too. You can rebuild the Slime Shooter into the Slime Exploder. This is probably my least favourite build of the three. This Slime Shooter builds. There's not really much going on, and you can tell that they were struggling for ideas with this one. And moving on to the next build, so it's the Slime Streamer. In my opinion, this is my favourite of the three builds. And this is because it looks just like a sewer grate being pushed into the air with slime. This build wouldn't really look out of place in a LEGO city. I really do love this build, it's quite good. Now I'll move on to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man Fun Pack. This one comes with a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and a Pterodog build. Stay Puft is an exclusive minifigure that only appears in this fun pack. While he may look a bit boring as he doesn't really have much detail, I'm not sure he really needs much more detail as he looks pretty much exactly like the Marshmallow Man mascot himself. I love the special mold LEGO made for Stay Puft as well, because it looks quite accurate to the films. In the game you can make him grow just like Homer Simpson. This makes him tower over the other characters, which is supposed to be a reference to the actual movie where Gozer takes on the form of Stay Puft, only ends up being King Kong size instead of twice the size of a regular minifigure. The vehicle that Stay Puft comes with is the Pterodog. You can rebuild it into the Pterodog Destroyer and the Soaring Pterodog. The Pterodog, or Ghost Dog as Paul Rudd calls it in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, had to be included somewhere. This is probably one of the most iconic ghost monster creature things from Ghostbusters. It looks really accurate to the movies, although it probably should have been slightly bigger. But I do understand that LEGO had to shrink it down for LEGO Dimensions though. One of the builds you can turn the Pterodog into is the Pterodog Destroyer. I quite like this one. I think it's a good idea giving it two heads, otherwise it probably would have looked very similar to the original Pterodog. It's not my favourite of the three, however it's still really good. The other alternative build for the Pterodog is the Soaring Pterodog. This one kind of reminds me of Ghostbusters Afterlife, when you see it in spirit form flying around. Obviously, Ghostbusters Afterlife released after LEGO Dimensions, so it definitely wasn't based off of it, but it's still a cool thing. I quite like this one, as it does look something that would exist inside of the Ghostbusters world, and I just really like it. Anyway, the Ghostbusters Adventure World is exactly how you would imagine it to be. It looks just like New York at night, and includes some iconic locations for the Ghostbusters, like their Firehouse HQ, the library, Dana's apartment building, and the sewers with the slime. While in the Adventure World, you can also hear some of the songs from the first Ghostbusters movie playing in the background, like Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr., Cleaning Up the Town by the Bus Boys, and Saving the Day by the Alessi Brothers. I really do love this entire set of characters, and I'm glad LEGO included them in LEGO Dimensions. the standout for me is definitely Slimer. He's just one of my favourite characters of all time, up there with Star-Lord. So yeah, I'm quite biased towards Slimer, if you couldn't already tell. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Bye!